The tourists thought they were setting out on an exciting sightseeing adventure through the Louisiana swamps, but what awaited them was far beyond anything they had expected. The giant crocodile suddenly slammed its massive body against their boat, sending shockwaves of fear through the group. But what they would soon discover was even more unsettling. The crocodile wasn't just acting out. There was a heartbreaking reason behind its aggressive behavior. It was a sticky, humid morning in the heart of the Louisiana bayou, the air thick with the earthy scent of the marshlands. Mist clung to the dense green landscape, creating an almost mystical atmosphere. Birds chirped in the distance, their calls blending with the hum of insects, while the soft rustling of leaves hinted at the hidden life teeming within the swamp. On the dock, a small group of tourists stood eagerly, their diverse backgrounds momentarily forgotten as they came together with one shared goal: to explore the secrets of the bayou. Jamie, their guide, pulled his boat, Swamp Serenade, up to the jetty. His weathered face bore the marks of countless days spent under the relentless Louisiana sun, and his warm smile, cutting through his rugged demeanor, put the group at ease. "Morning, everyone," Jamie said, his deep voice carrying easily over the sound of the water. "Ready to see the real beauty of the swamps? Keep your cameras ready, but more importantly, keep your hands and feet inside the boat at all times." His friendly words carried an undertone of caution, enough to send a ripple of nervous excitement through the group. They nodded, gripping their gear a little tighter as they stepped aboard. The journey began peacefully. The boat glided through muddy waters, weaving between moss-draped cypress trees. Cameras clicked as the tourists marveled at the untouched wilderness. Herons and ospreys perched high in the trees, their feathers shimmering in the soft morning light. A bald eagle circled overhead, majestic against the vast sky. On the muddy bank, an alligator-snapping turtle cast a wary glance at the passing boat, its ancient reptilian eyes betraying a hint of curiosity. The swamp was alive with wonder, every corner revealing something new and mesmerizing. The tourists whispered to one another, their excitement growing with each discovery. Jamie expertly navigated the waterways, pointing out wildlife and sharing tales of life in the bayou. The group's sense of adventure deepened as they captured the unique beauty of the swamp through their camera lenses. Everything seemed perfect until the tranquility was shattered. The water erupted with a thunderous crash as a massive crocodile slammed into the side of the boat, nearly knocking a few passengers from their seats. Gasps and shouts filled the air as everyone scrambled to regain their balance. Cameras clattered against the boat's metal edge, and a woman in the front clutched her chest, her face pale with shock. Jamie's calm demeanor was gone in an instant. "Hold on tight," he shouted, steering the boat away from the thrashing crocodile. But the creature wasn't giving up. It lunged again, its massive body colliding with the hull, sending another jolt through the passengers. The group watched in terror as the crocodile circled the boat, its eyes glowing with intensity. "Why is it doing this?" someone whispered, their voice trembling. Jamie frowned, his sharp eyes following the crocodile's movements. He had seen aggressive animals before, but this was different. The creature's actions seemed almost desperate. As the crocodile finally backed off, Jamie eased the boat into a quieter section of the swamp. "Something's not right," he murmured. "Stay put. I need to take a closer look." What Jamie and the tourists would soon uncover was more than just a wild encounter. It was a plea for help. Halfway through the trip, they reached the heart of the swamp. Jamie cut the boat's engine, and a profound stillness settled over the group. The only sounds were the faint rustle of reeds and the gentle lap of water against the hull. The tourists gripped their cameras tightly, their fingers hovering over the triggers, eyes scanning the murky water for movement. Jamie gestured toward a shimmering patch of sunlight on the surface. "There," he whispered, his voice barely audible. All eyes turned to the rippling water. Something big was coming. A collective gasp rippled through the boat as a massive crocodile surfaced. Its scaly body glistened in the light, each ridge and scar on its hide telling a story of survival. The creature floated just beneath the surface, its unblinking eyes locked on the boat. Chris, an avid photographer, leaned in for a closer shot, her heart pounding as she captured every detail: the jagged scales, the powerful jaws, and the haunting, ancient eyes. "Keep your distance, Chris," Jamie warned, his tone sharp but calm, his eyes never leaving the crocodile. The tourists were entranced, snapping photos in silent awe and fear. The crocodile, indifferent to their presence, submerged once more, leaving only a subtle ripple as it disappeared. The group exhaled in unison, relief washing over them, though the tension lingered in the air. Conversation resumed, but a sense of unease remained, the encounter still fresh in their minds. As the journey continued, the swamp revealed its wonders: majestic herons perched in the treetops, turtles basking on fallen logs, and shimmering dragonflies darting through the air. The beauty of the bayou captivated the group, momentarily pushing thoughts of the crocodile aside. But as the sun dipped lower, painting the water in hues of orange and gold, the mood shifted. Jamie steered the boat into denser foliage, his movements careful and deliberate. The group, now tired but still curious, followed his gaze as he pointed to the horizon. "Over there," he said, his voice low. The silhouette of a massive figure began to take shape in the fading light. It was the crocodile. Emerging once again, it glided toward the boat with slow, deliberate movements. The group fell silent, their excitement tinged with unease as the creature drew closer. Jamie's expression hardened, his demeanor shifting from wonder to wariness. This wasn't typical behavior. The crocodile surged forward with purpose, its powerful tail sending waves toward the boat. The sudden movement jolted the group into panic. Smartphones trembled in hands as the tourists tried to capture the moment, their fear palpable. Jamie's voice cut through the chaos. "Stay seated. Don't lean over." The crocodile rammed the boat, causing it to lurch violently. Screams erupted as everyone held onto the edges for dear life. Then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the chaos stopped. The crocodile sank back into the depths, leaving nothing but silence and a rocking boat behind. The group sat frozen, hearts pounding as the swamp returned to its tranquil state. Jamie's gaze lingered on the water, his instincts telling him there was more to this encounter than met the eye. The tourists looked at one another, a shared sense of awe and trepidation hanging in the air. Whatever had just happened, they knew they wouldn't forget it. The crocodile disappeared beneath the water, leaving a shaken but relieved group behind. Their calm, however, didn't last long. With a powerful surge, the massive creature leaped from the depths, slamming into the boat with a force that sent shockwaves through everyone on board. Cameras and phones slipped from hands as the passengers clutched the boat's sides for stability. For a moment, chaos reigned, but the boat steadied, leaving the group wide-eyed and rattled. Jamie, ever the composed guide, exhaled deeply as he scanned the now quiet water. The stillness was unnerving, amplifying the tension. With a forced smile, he restarted the engine. "That's enough excitement for one day," he joked, his voice masking his unease. A few nervous chuckles followed, but the group remained on edge as they began heading back toward the dock. Just as they thought the ordeal was over, ripples broke the swamp's surface again. The crocodile reappeared, this time beside the boat, ramming it repeatedly and pushing it off course into unfamiliar waters. The passengers gripped their seats, their earlier sense of relief replaced by fear. Jamie's expression darkened as he tried to regain control. "This isn't normal," he muttered, his eyes darting for an escape route, but the crocodile blocked every attempt to turn back. Its persistence baffled him. Jamie hesitated, a thought forming in his mind. What if it's trying to show us something? He speculated aloud. The tourists exchanged skeptical glances, but his words sparked a glimmer of hope. With no other options, Jamie made a bold decision. They would follow the crocodile. Slowing the engine, he allowed the creature to guide them deeper into the swamp. The murmurs of uncertainty faded as the group resigned themselves to trust Jamie's instincts. The boat glided through the dark, twisting waterways, surrounded by ancient cypress trees draped in Spanish moss. The swamp felt alive with its own rhythm, the hum of insects and the occasional call of a distant bird creating an eerie soundtrack. Fireflies danced in the gathering dusk, their glow casting an otherworldly light on the water. Soon they emerged into a moonlit clearing. The crocodile stopped, and Jamie cut the engine. Silence enveloped the group as tiny shapes began to surface. Baby crocodiles, their small bodies shimmering in the soft light. The sight was mesmerizing, but Jamie's sharp eyes caught something troubling in the distance. Smoke curled above the trees, and the faint glow of flames reflected off the water. His chest tightened. A fire in the swamp was rare and dangerous. He turned to the group, his voice steady but urgent. "There's trouble ahead. Stay here. I'm going to check it out." Before anyone could protest, Jamie leaped from the boat, wading toward the source of the smoke. The mother crocodile remained calm, her gaze following him closely. As Jamie pushed through the foliage, he came upon a heartbreaking sight. A baby crocodile trapped amid the burning logs, its tiny body trembling in fear. Jamie's heart ached at the scene, but he knew there wasn't time to waste. He hurried back to the boat, urgency written across his face. "The fire is spreading, and there's a baby crocodile trapped in the flames," he explained. "We need to act fast." The tourists listened in stunned silence as Jamie outlined his plan. The boat would be used to ram the burning logs on the western edge, where the water still reached the shore. It was risky, but there was no alternative. Jamie climbed back into the helm, determination etched into his features. The engine roared to life as the boat surged forward, heading straight for the soldering logs. The passengers clung tightly to their seats, their breaths held as the vessel barreled toward the smoky barrier. With each second, the tension mounted, but Jamie's focus never wavered. They weren't just saving the baby crocodile, they were giving this family a chance to survive. As the boat approached the fiery patch, the group braced for impact, knowing this was a moment they'd never forget. The boat slammed into the logs with a sudden jarring impact, followed by the sickening crunch of splitting wood. Water splashed over the sides, soaking everyone as the boat rocked dangerously. They tried again and again, once, twice, 3 times, each failed attempt bringing them closer to sinking. Their hearts pounded, fear mingling with determination. By the 4th attempt, hope and desperation furled their courage. Finally, on the 5th try, a loud crack echoed through the bayou. The logs gave way, tumbling into the water and clearing a path to freedom. The baby crocodile wasted no time, skirting away from the burning pile and slipping into the safety of the water. A collective sigh of relief swept through the group, their faces breaking into smiles. They had done it. Despite the fear and chaos, they had not only survived the encounter with the massive crocodile, but had also saved one of her young from certain doom. Cheers erupted as the baby crocodile swam toward its siblings, reuniting with its family in the murky depths. The profound relief and joy were shared by everyone on the boat. Jamie leaned back, wiping the sweat from his brow, a wide grin spreading across his face. "Not a bad day's work," he said, his tone light despite the adrenaline still coursing through him. He looked toward the mother crocodile, who lingered near the boat. Her unblinking eyes rested on the group, her body partially submerged. For a moment, there was an undeniable sense of gratitude in her gaze, as if she understood what they had done. Then, with a slow and deliberate motion, she dipped beneath the water, leaving only ripples and the faint gleam of her eyes above the surface. The boat began its journey back, gliding toward familiar waters. The group sat quietly, their earlier fear replaced by a calm satisfaction. Each person reflected on the extraordinary adventure they had just lived through, a rescue mission unlike anything they could have imagined. Jamie, the seasoned swamp guide, knew this was a tale he would recount for years to come, a story that would cement his reputation as a true bayou legend. As the dock came into view, the tourists turned their cameras toward the horizon. The setting sun bathed the swamp in hues of gold and crimson, casting long shadows across the water. They snapped their final photos, capturing the beauty of a place that had given them so much more than they expected. It wasn't just a trip to the swamp. It was an experience that would stay with them forever. And as they stepped off the boat, hearts still racing, they carried with them a story of bravery, connection, and the quiet gratitude of a mother crocodile.